best friend from the 7th grade moved up here. Him and his brother-in-law. His brother-in-law built a log cabin. That's the first time I came up. He was building that. We helped him set the ridge pole, and that's when I was living in Hawaii. But I was on the mainland for a visit, and we came up and visited him, and then I went back to Hawaii, and meanwhile Sam moved up here for good and was buying some property, and we stayed with him. Stayed with a little trailer on his property until we found a place to rent there, and we rented several places, and the last one, the guy, oh, you stay here as long as you want. And then a couple of months later, he goes, I decided I want to move here. I can't stay in town no more. And that's when we just went out driving up the road looking if there were any empty houses, and we found this spot with a cabin that had the door kicked off and the windows, the roof leaked, the floor was rotted. I mean, there were lots of problems with it. And
so what'd you pay for that land?
we rented. We were paying $25 a month rent for years.
Wow.
And they raised it to 30. And they ended up raising it to 45 after we'd been there about 12 or 15 years. Then it ended up going to 125, I think, after my brother moved in and Peggy moved out. And, I don't know, I was out there for 20 years.
Yeah, long time. I couldn't live that way, but I admire people who do. My son Braden says he would like that. That would make him happy.
Yeah. Oh man, I loved it. I mean,
I'm too
it
spoiled.
wouldn't have been haphazard. I probably would have stayed there. Well, I would have had to move here eventually. I couldn't just come on the weekends, which I did for about 2 years.
Because Peggy was living here, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So what do you think happened with Walt and my mother?
Which Walt? My dad?
Your dad.
I do not know, other than she was with him from the time she was about 15, I believe.
So you think he was a predator?
No, I think they loved each other.
Hard for me to imagine.
You know, I think it went back to teenage days, you know. I don't know. I don't...
Because if you look at how much older he was.
Yeah, but
But
he wasn't that much older, you know. I mean, when you look at when she was 15, he was
25, 26?
30s, I don't know.
Yeah, but can
not
you
that
imagine?
much older then.
But can you imagine yourself as a 30-something with your 15-year-old niece?
No, I can't.
Yeah.
I can't. But
I mean, I have a hard time fathoming.
You know.
Because, I mean, nobody knows this. Almost. Mary's his, too. So, they're both.
Yeah, that didn't surprise me.
No, but we haven't told Lisa or anybody. And my sister's gone emotionally, mentally, so there's no reason to talk to her about it.
Yeah.
But it's hard for me, you know, to imagine. I don't get it. I just...
Yeah, I don't know.
I wish I knew. You know?
Yeah, well, all there was denial from her.
Did people ask her?
I asked her.
You asked her about Mary, or if something was going on, or...
I asked her about Mary. Oh, no. I might have asked her about you, but...
Well, she had to have been ashamed of it.
Well, yeah, I would think so.
Yeah.
I think my father was also ashamed.
Yeah.
You know.
I don't know. Sure, I'm curious about it, though.
You know, because I'll tell you, when she got together with Chris, he had a hard time with it. And when she married Chris, he blew his top. They just about he was trying to fight him one night up in the room. He was drunker than a skunk, and every other word was F this and F that, you S, and you know. And he's lucky that Chris didn't just beat the crap out of him.
Yeah.
Because I think your mother was there and she kept him.
Why did they even go there? Try to pick up stuff, maybe?
I don't know. Maybe she just went to see him to try and smooth things. I don't know. All I know is I was there and I left. I got out of there because I didn't want any part of it. He was acting so repulsive.
You had to know then, for sure. At that point. Because I remember even thinking that when I was a teenager, thinking that they talked about each other and them breaking up like they had been a couple, not niece and uncle. And I remember thinking, I may have said it to my mom. I may have said, I think Walt is in love with you. And
yeah,
I
there's
wish
no doubt about that.
Yeah. So, do you know why she finally left?
You know, I would think it was to end it. That would be my guess. I don't know for sure. I wasn't around then. Whenever that happened, I was living somewhere else. I don't think I was there when they got married. This was after they'd been married for a while. I came back from somewhere. I don't know if I'd been living in Washington or Hawaii or I don't know. What year did your mom and Chris get together?
68, 69.
I was living in Washington.
Protein.
Huh?
Protein drinks.
So was it Walt that bought that house on Roosevelt?
Originally, in Sonny.
Yeah.
Sonny bought it when Walt couldn't make the payments
Right.
anymore.
That's what I thought. And Walt was pretty successful, right, for a while?
He was at one time, yeah. And he bought that business from, I think the guy's name was Freeman. They were in partnership, and then he bought Freeman out.
I didn't know that. I thought they formed the company themselves.
No, it was associated. And then your mother pretty much ran the business. He was still working then. Him and Carol ran the business, did all the work.
Well, weren't you and Walt?
We started
helped.
working, yeah.
Yeah.
That was pretty much after Bobby became a partner. Bobby became a partner and Dad had quit working there. I think he was starting to drink again then.
Do you know what caused your dad to not be able to walk?
Just from not walking.
See,
He probably had the same thing. He's got sciatica nerve pinch in his back, which is the same thing as I had, which I had 3 surgeries before it finally fixed it for good.
But back then they wouldn't have.
You know. But he refused to go to a doctor. He wouldn't go to a doctor.
So I remember my mom telling me that he drank so much one night that he had a stroke.
Oh, I remember him having the stroke.
How old was he when he had a stroke? Not that old.
I was
then.
a teenager.
Young. Oh my
So,
goodness.
you know, I was probably 15, maybe 16.
Wow. So that's young.
Yeah, so I don't know how many years older than me. He was born in
27.
23, maybe. I think my mother was born in 27 and he was born in 23, so that would make him 22 years older than me. So yeah, he would have been about late 30s.
Young. Really
Which,
young.
you know, late
Yeah.
30s is a kid to me,
To me too.
now.
To have
you
a
know.
stroke, yeah, that's really young.
But I remember he was convulsing like mad, and Carol had me holding a spoon on his tongue.
So was he seizing?
Yeah. Yeah, he was definitely seizing. I mean, his body was
So,
all over.
because Grandma Norma had seizures, and my sister has seizures.
That's the only one I ever saw him have.
Okay, so it had something to do with this.
Then they put him in San Mateo County Hospital in the rubber rooms.
Is that maybe when my mom had left?
No, this was way before
So
then.
she lived stuck with him.
She was
through
there
all that.
another, I don't know how many years, a long time.
Strange
Yeah.
dynamic.
I wasn't around when she left.
So Chris must have known.
68 or 69, I was living up on the Olympic Peninsula then.
I didn't think Chris would have known, but Chris probably knew. Yeah,
Is Chris dead now? Chris died.
yeah. Everybody that I could talk to is gone, and I don't know if you know that. You don't know this. You know Aunt Amy, right?
Yeah.
And Uncle Bill. Well, her daughter Linda isn't Bill's. It's like, holy crap. I mean, we know you all belong to your dad because you
Yeah.
all look like your dad.
You know, he never had another woman after my mother. He loved my mother too.
Well, he had my mother.
Well, yeah, he had your
So-
mother, but
That's right.
other than that, I mean, he never.
Uncle Bill's.
Well,
Aunt Amy's daughter Linda is not Uncle Bill's.
She is whose?
We don't know.
Oh, you don't know?
No.
that would have been many years ago.
Yeah, apparently they were living in Sacramento. She was conceived during the time when Bill and Amy were living in Sacramento, and you know we went. So when you do your
Might
DNA,
have been when Mom and Dad was living in Sacramento too.
very likely. But we did. So the DNA test comes back, and she's like, "Well, why am I not related to these people?" And I'm looking, and I know right off. Oh, wait a minute, she's not who she's supposed to be. And then we see she has a first cousin with the last name of Klugh. And so we contacted him, and he is like really into DNA research. So he knows how to do that stuff, and he's been trying to figure out who her father is. But if people won't take tests, so and it's like so. Pat's son took a test, and so he's definitely Bill's. And Tom took a test, and he's definitely Bill's. And then another of the grandkids.
Richard.
Is that Amy's kids?
Yeah, so it looks like it could be only Linda. So,
She was the oldest, I believe.
no,
No?
I can't remember where she falls in the family tree. I don't think she's the oldest.
She was older than Tommy, I believe.